Hey guys, in this one I'd like to show you how to make a more advanced percussion beat, groove, rhythm, whatever you like to call it. I'm probably going to show you the more trance-like rhythm, and then I'm going to get into like drum and bass slash hip hop slash dubstep because it all kind of is the same concept, or similar I should say. So whatever I'm actually doing here can be tweaked to your own style because there's thousands of different grooves and rhythms you can come up with. So what I'm doing in this tutorial is only one of the many styles, so feel free to like experiment with what I'm showing you, but you are going to need a sample pack, and it's usually always stored in the browser. If you go to file settings and route it there or whatever, but you will need a kick, of course. I'm using the Vengeance volume pack. See, this is always the most kind of boring part to watch because you're just kind of like watching me clicking all these different samples. But really, when you're doing this, when you're gathering all your stuff, don't really be too picky on the sounds that you pick. You should probably have a basic idea of what you're looking for, but for the most part, a lot of the sounds, as long as it sounds good alone, it should sound pretty good with the rest of the track. But like I said, don't be too picky because I've seen a lot of sounds that sound really bad like alone, but when you put it all together, it generally sounds like much better. Alright, so what you want is generally a few close hi-hats, so one, maybe two, and you're going to want an open hi-hat or some sort of offbeat instrument, but typically it is an open hi-hat, and this is more of the trance housey style beat, by the way. Now you're going to want to choose whether you want to have a snare or a clap for your kind of 2/4 hits. Now typically it is almost, I'd say about 95% of the time it's a clap when you're talking about trance and house, and I prefer using claps, but when you're doing the drum and bass stuff you need more percussion and percussion snare type thing. Not always, of course, but snares are more prominently used. So yeah, you just kind of want to have a short kind of clap thing, and you can layer claps over each other, like I have one here and another one there. So kick drum, 2 open hi-hat or closed hi-hats, 1 open and 2 claps. So you got the basics. I'm going to stretch this out so that it's for 8 beats or 2 measures, using the corner thing here. For the kick drum, you want it to be every 4 step, or in other words, beating at the tempo of 130. Which is right up there. Alright, so I'm gonna just proceed to add the very generic 4x4 beat, and that's generally what it sounds like: kick, hat, kick and clap, or snare, and then hat again. And the hats are in between the kicks. And what you do with the open hi-hats is kind of up to you. Now, when you're doing a more funky type of beat thing, especially for trance house, there's a swing bar up here. And what that does is when you move it up, and I tend to move it to around 50%, anything that is lit up where I'm lighting up this closed hi-hat right here, basically anywhere that's not where the open hi-hat, clap, or the kicks are, so in between everything, will be moved to come in slightly later, like literally by a fraction of a second later. So you have this. Just take a close listen to that close hi-hat. Sounds a little kind of off and dodgy, but if you move it to 50%, it changes slightly, like by the smallest amount, but it can really make a huge difference in the overall track. So I consider you use that swing bar when you're making these kind of beats. So there. Now this is probably the more important part to the advanced beat making stuff. You want to find some percussion sounds that you like, some interesting kind of funky, strange sounds that you can kind of add in the background and make a groove out of. And it's usually a lot more interesting than having, I don't know, just hi-hats doing the groove. And just kind of experiment with it. Just gather a lot of samples that you generally like. I kind of like that as a kind of clap sound, so maybe I'll layer that over. And I'll fix that up later. See all these sounds here? What do you notice? They actually have a pitch. And I can teach you how to actually pitch these samples so that they're in the tune and the key of your song. And you can even make a little bit of a melody even to it, and it's actually such a great add to your song. If you ever have floor toms and stuff, you can tune them, and that will just like enhance your track by about like 57%. That over that. So here I have, let me have that one. So they're somewhat similar. Those two are similar as well, so I'll take those. Take one of those. And yeah, basically you just gather a crap load of samples, and you don't even have to use them all. Now you kind of want to have to think in your head before you start messing around with the actual groove that you would like to accompany the rest of your song, because you know sometimes you can have a bit of an off groove that would not fit your the rest of your track. But for the most part, anything you like should just fit pretty well. Now I like to have kind of a noise similar to this right before the clap. I'll get a snare because those are usually quite good for what I'm talking about. I don't know, just something like this, which is kind of just a little noise sound, and it has to be pretty short. And let me just fix that. You can make it even shorter using these knobs here, like the out and the in knob. And just kind of like putting the snare right before the clap. All right. And it's kind of like those beats that you make with your friends. I don't know if you guys ever done this, but you know you have like one person like doing this one thing, and then you got this like other guy doing this like this other thing, and then you just layer everything on top, and it's like this big like groove. This is basically what I'm doing with all these samples. So I just cloned this tom 3 times, and I'm gonna pitch them. Now I don't actually have a key to a song right yet because this is like a completely new empty project file, but let's say, I don't know, my song was in C, see major, and first I'd have to figure out what this is currently in, but I'm gonna guess it's in C because it usually is either C or A. So I'm gonna leave that there. I move that one to 2 cents, that'd be B flat, and then 3 cents would be minus 300 cents would be A. And then you can kind of mess around with like the resample formulas and whatever sounds cleaner. See, that one sounded alright. And then you got, and I'll pitch one up 4 cents, 400 cents, and that is an F. Or no, it's not. It's an E. So I got C, A, E, and I can change that whenever. So say I did something like. I don't know, you can kind of mess around with it, but like I'm just kind of improvising right now. We could have that on the offbeat. Like, don't be afraid to layer stuff on top of each other. Maybe I could do something like this. Kind of like an open hi or closed hi-hat, so I'm gonna move that all the way up there using the Alt and the arrow keys. I know you guys actually can't see this, so I'm gonna start deleting some of these samples that I'm not using right now. Now, of course, you're gonna have to like link those to the mixer and then start mixing them and leveling them and balancing them and all this crap so that they're so that they sound good when they're playing together. But you can also see that it doesn't sound half bad just left alone like this. And if I played a melody on top of it, I can promise you that it'd be perfectly on beat. It's always good to use reverb and things for sounds. Like I would use it for let me find it, something like that. Add some reverb on that. I don't usually add it to my claps. If I do, it'd be very soft. I don't add it to something too bassy like a tom. Just general sounds that are more atmospheric, definitely add some reverb to that. But yeah, that's all I can really say in a general term. Now, because we're running on quite a bit of time already, I think I'll just oh, I didn't save that. Whoops. I guess you guys aren't getting the FLP unless I can get a backup file. We'll see. This is something I'm working on because I've been for some reason I've been listening to liquid drum and bass. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But I made this this beat here. basically in the exact same way that I just made my trance beat, but the kick and the tempo is different. Tempo 180, all right, and it's halftime. You can see that if I put the kick at 4 steps, it'd be pretty quick. So I'm just kind of making it like kick, kick, clap, kick, 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 clap. You know what I mean? I mean, you've all heard these kind of beats before. The claps or the percussion don't actually go here anymore, and here they when you're in halftime, it actually kind of goes like right here and right way out there. All right, so you're kind of like separating the distance in between each clap by double because you're in halftime. I actually don't remember what the kick was like, so let me just load that up again. So I'm sorry that I wasn't really able to like go through all this with you. I think that'd just take forever. But you just take a good look at this. Now for the mixing, what I did, if I like remove some of the, okay, so this is, oops. This is the mixing for the percussion thing that you're hearing. I got a clap layered on that. That's the kick. Look at the levels too, like this one's at -1. That's at -5, because you don't need the kick to be that loud. I have this percussion thing. Now listen to that. Hear that reverb? It's coming in at 140 milliseconds, so on the delay. So it hits and then the reverb comes in, and that's very important to the fluidity of the track. All right. I also made these ride samples. Let me just make those so you can hear it. The same exact ride sample, I just made one little shorter. Then I made one backwards. And I made just the normal version of it. So I got a long, and then I got like a shorter version, and then like the not reverb, but reverse version. So you just listen to that. But I'm not going to go into it too much more than this, but you know, the only reverb I actually have was on that one percussion sound, and a lot of the times that's enough. Now I got 3 patterns. There's that one there, and then there's that one, and then there's that one. These 2 patterns here are my transitions. So I got like pattern 1 is just the normal one, and then this is kind of a transition, but not really. It's like a soft kind of diverse transition type thing, so it doesn't sound like the same beat is playing over and over. It's good to have different like grooves. And there's the piano. Sorry about that. And then this is like the obvious transition beat. So it's just like, I don't know, it just makes it obvious that you're about to like transition to like another section of the song or whatever. And it's very important that you have these. It's very important that you're not looping the exact same 8 bars, or 8 beats, or 2 bars all the time. It's good to have diversity. So that's why I got these 3 different patterns. So if I play it all together, like moving from pattern 1, let me see, let me just delete, or not delete, but mute all the sounds that are going to be over that. So you can see here, pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 1, pattern 3. I'll start it from here. So you can kind of see how that slight diversity and change can really help the overall percussion track and realism. Might as well play with the piano so you can see how it sounds. So you can kind of see how like simple and full the track is, even though it's really just piano, a little bit of sub bass, and but mostly just this crazy drum pattern. So there you go. Hope this helped. For hip hop producers, the only thing I can really tell you, since this is in halftime, you can basically do exactly what I just did here, and put it at 140-ish, but probably like 160, 155-ish would be fine, as long as the beat is in halftime. If the beat's in full time, then make it like 70 to 100 beats per minute, not like 155, because that's ridiculous. I put at 155 because 155 divided by 2 is like it's 70 something. So yeah, there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and thought I'd get this out of the way. Some people have been asking, and I don't treat my hip hop producer fans very well with my constant trance tutorials and house and whatever I'm doing right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.